Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're over on the test account and there is a update. That is right, guys. What we've changed, added a beast, the Flutter Plume Owl. That is right, guys. We have another brand new beast that is coming up on the test server, which means within the next couple days, probably Tuesday or Wednesday, he will be up on the global server, if not already. So looking at the pets, guys, we are now adding the Flutter Plume Owl. And as you can see, guys, he is like an absolute crazy Red Bull energized beast right here. He is going crazy. It's almost weird to look at him. But let's run through his skills and abilities, try to do some summons for him, see what we can do, guys. So the chrono control. The Flutter Plume Owl generates a time zone in the area of most concentrated heroes, dealing damage to the enemies among them and changing the time flow of the area for 8 seconds. The duration of most buffs of the ally hero in the zone is prolonged by 20%, while for most of the buffs of the enemy heroes, it is reduced for 20%. So he's not going to give a buff, but he's going to prolong the buffs that are already on your allied heroes. When an allied hero deals damage to an enemy, the Flutter Plume Owl receives additional beast energy. So pretty interesting dynamic right there with this one. And it's interesting too because it's the area of most concentrated heroes. So again, it makes me think of like the 5-pole, something of that nature, where all of your heroes are going to be together to actually catch this benefit of his ultimate ability. At certain intervals, the Flutter Plume Owl renders the allied heroes dealt the highest cumulative damage briefly immune to control effects. That's going to be huge for PvP, while increasing their tenacity for the next 5 seconds. Duration of most buffs of the allied heroes in the zone is prolonged by 30%. That's pretty big, guys. For most of the enemy debuffs in the zone, duration is reduced by 30%. If an enemy hero stays in the time zone for 3 seconds, they will be frozen in time. The Flutter Plume has crowd control, guys. So very cool. This effect can only be triggered a limited number of times and cannot be used against bosses, which we kind of know. The duration of the time zone prolonged to 10 seconds. While the haste of allied and enemy heroes in the zone is further increased. Let's see what exactly this looks like. Well, the haste of allied and enemy heroes in the zone is further increased by 40 points. Wow. So now we have a haste buff in there. Wow, that's pretty crazy. So we're prolonging the buffs that are in there. We're boosting up the tenacity, giving immunity to crowd control, and providing haste to the enemy or to the ally. Duration of the time zone is prolonged to 10 seconds, while the haste of the allied in the time zone is further increased. So we're giving it to the entire area, guys. Wow, that is crazy, guys. That's going to be a big deal when it comes to the boss. Basic training: the Flutter Plume Owl surveys enemies constantly on the battlefield while increasing the insight of all allies and the damage they dealt. So insight by 10 points, damage they dealt by 18. The damage they deal, so an 18% damage buff. That is crazy. So not only is the insight going up, there's an 18% damage. That's kind of crazy. After the Flutter Plume Owl uses chrono control 3 times in a single battle, the remaining duration of the battle will be prolonged by 5 seconds and be triggered once per battle. Then if an allied hero stays in the time zone for 3 seconds, they're immune to damage and control effects for a certain period of time. Now we have a damage immunity, guys. Wow. That's crazy. This effect can only be triggered for a limited number of times. So now, thinking of him, he's going to provide a damage boost. He's going to provide a immunity to damage and control effects. He's going to provide a haste boost in here. Guys, they just keep making these pets better and better. Because this is kind of interesting to see. Again, some of these buffs that would run out. And I'm thinking of like when Lucretia self buffs herself, or a couple other targets that actually have a self buff. They're going to prolong the buff, which is going to be very cool to see, guys. That is going to be interesting. It's going to be kind of crazy. with the new hero and see. Let's see if we have any. I'm kind of wondering. I want to get a copy of him because I want to see what it looks like. Let me go ahead and do some quick copies. See if I can get a copy. Bait, guys, we go through a lot of bait. It's so honestly rare to get it. Let's see if we got a copy of him, which we did. Very cool. I want to see. We only got one copy of him, though. I want to see kind of what it looks like in combat here. So let's pop him in here. There he is. And this is the Fipo. This is the Lucretia. Let's slow it down. I'm not sure if we're even going to get him to ult because it is the very beginning. But there he is, guys. He's hovering above the battlefield. He's not even going to be able to live long enough, which we only have 100 level deficiency. We shouldn't have that many problems with it. Let's see. I want to see if we can just get him in a battle. It's cool he comes right out, guys. He just kind of hangs on right here. Energy bars getting there. Very, very slowly. I want to just try to get him to ult. There's the ult. I'm not sure. Is this ring his ring? I think it is. Let me try that again. I'm thinking that ring we just seen on the ground. Because I know there's Orthos right up here. I want to see if we can get him to ult. There it is, guys. So there's the ring. You can see the ring. That's a pretty decent size. This little green ring right here. Very cool. Let's see if it does any damage. It does 1.69. So he does a little bit of damage. Guys, it seems like he's going to be a pretty cool pet. Again, that little ring, that is what he produces. It's not huge, but even looking, I'm thinking in comparison to like Orthos's ring here, it's about the same size of Orthos's ring. It looks a little bigger. It looks a little bigger than Orthos's ring. So if we can bring all of these, essentially these allies together, guys, that's going to be a pretty cool feature. All right, guys, so that'll do it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think of the new beast. And as always, thank you guys for watching.